everyone, Jennifer Schubring with the Green Bay Area Public School District and Building AAC. And today I'm here to talk to you about the prompting hierarchy that I use in my practice. This prompting hierarchy comes from the work of Dr. Janice Light and Dr. Kathy Binger and their book, Building Competence in Individuals Who Use Augmentative and Alternative Communication. This prompting hierarchy has 4 steps and is pretty simple to use. I would recommend that you use whatever prompting hierarchy you're most familiar with. So if there's another prompting hierarchy that you use confidently and consistently, then by all means use that. But I find this is really simple to use when I'm coaching individuals. The other reason I really like this prompting hierarchy is because it doesn't utilize physical prompting. We know that individuals with complex needs are more at risk for being taken advantage of, and doing any sort of hand over hand or hand under hand assistance is just not something that I use in my practice anymore. So what I'm going to do is go through the steps and then give you a few examples of how you might use this with both high-tech, low-tech communication. So let's get started. The very first step is using a natural cue. And if we look at this handout, a natural cue is something that happens naturally and lets the communicator know it is time to respond. For example, asking a question is a natural cue. Telling someone to respond is not a natural cue. The next thing that you'll see is this very important cue for us to pause and say nothing for 5 to 10 seconds. This is really important because we want to give our individuals with complex communication needs time to process the information that we're asking and possibly even think about how they're going to respond using their communication system. The next step is expectant delay. An expectant delay is additional wait time. It provides the necessary time for a communicator to process the cue and respond. To use this prompt, look at the communicator and maintain eye contact and an expectant facial expression, such as a cocked head, a raised eyebrow, or you may lean towards the communicator. One of the very most important parts of this is this shh. You need to be quiet. If we're talking while we're giving individuals this cue, that just adds to the auditory information that they're trying to process and can make that communicator even more confused or process more information. So we really need to make sure that as we're giving all of these cues, that we're being quiet and not adding to the complexity of what they're processing. Again, after you give this expectant delay, you're going to pause and say nothing for 5 or 10 seconds. The third step in this prompting hierarchy is to point towards the symbols. Now, that doesn't mean to point to the exact symbol that you want the individuals to communicate. This point is quick. It's a silent gestural prompt that makes it more clear to the communicator that a response is expected. To use this prompt, point towards the computer, device, picture board, calculator, whatever it is that you're expecting them to use. Look at the communicator and wait expectantly. You can also use a flashlight for pointing. So this doesn't need to be a point with your hand. It can be a point with a flashlight. Maybe you have some sort of a stylus or pointer that you might use. But the main point to remember is that this is a general sweeping motion. So we are pointing to the whole communication board, not just where we want them to communicate. At times, I also add a little bit of an auditory cue where I might tap on the paper or tap on the communication device to get their attention to look towards the communication system. But again, I'm not tapping and pointing exactly at what I want them to say. I'm doing it maybe up towards the top or just tapping the sides of the communication device that's in the case. Again, you want to pause and say nothing for 5 or 10 seconds to help them give that processing time. If they do not respond to your natural cue, your expectant delay, or your point towards their communication system, then you're going to model. We know that individuals that are learning to use their communication systems need between 50 and 150 models of a word. At least that's what Gail Van Tatenhove references often in her work. So if they're not responding, one of the reasons why I don't give that hand under hand prompt and help them to, or take their hand and point specifically to a symbol, is because I'm going to work under the assumption that we have not hit that 50 models of a word or 150 models of a word. And so I'm going to give them that receptive language input. Then I'm going to recast the question, or ask it in another way, and give them another opportunity to respond, working my way through this communication system. So let's take a few minutes and let's use the example of coloring with maybe a young child and how you might model. So I might ask the question and model the word what. What color do you want? If they're at the one word level, I would model just the one word what. Or I might, if they're at the two word model or two word level, I might model what color do you want? Then that's my natural cue. I'm going to pause and say nothing. Next, I'm going to give that expectant delay. I wonder if you want red. I like red. What color do you want?
Orange.
You want orange. Here you go. And I would hand them the device. And then I might give them another opportunity to communicate, or I might model some words. I like that orange pumpkin that you're drawing. I wonder if you would like to maybe add some brown stem on that pumpkin. What color do you want next?
What
color do you want next? Look at the device. Look at the individual. Next, move to that pointing cue. I think I'm going to use the color brown for my stem. So again, you're going to recast, give them more opportunities, and you're going to model those different words so that they can get more opportunities to see their words being used in their communication system through your modeling, and hopefully get them to that point where they're comfortable responding and receptively understanding what those pictures are and what they're supposed to do during that communicative interaction. So this would be how I use the prompting hierarchy with any sort of communication system, whether that be low tech or high tech. And I just want to say that you might use this prompting hierarchy for more than just modeling. So I may be working on them navigating. And so I'm going to use this prompting hierarchy in order to see if they can navigate to the correct page. Or I might use this prompting hierarchy once I've already navigated, if they're not at that navigational point yet, and we're really just working on exposing them to more words and seeing those words in use. So there are multiple reasons why you might want to prompt, and it will really depend on what your goal is for that interaction. If you have any questions, please reach out and ask. I'm always happy to offer suggestions and answer any questions you may have. Thank you, and bye.